Husband, 43M, cheating during my 44F cancer treatment with a 21-year-old. I, 44F, have stage 3 thyroid cancer that has spread to my lymph nodes. After surgery, I had a very bad reaction to radiation therapy, so I've been doing chemo only. I've gained over 50 pounds. My hair completely fell out with chemo and I throw up all the time. My husband turned on me the moment he saw me brushing my hair and clumps very falling out as I was brushing. Going into surgery, he was the guy who posted on Facebook urging family and friends to keep me in their thoughts, who said he was going to help me fight it together. Now he is bitter, distant, dismissive, and angry. He makes rude comments about how I'm not perfumed and wakes me up to tell me to bathe. He'd try to initiate romance, but the scent of his cologne was enough to make me nauseous. When I'd express that, he'd turn sharply away. He even withholds regular spending money from our kids, saying he does everything and isn't appreciated for his efforts. We ended up going to therapy, and afterwards, he said he'd stop presenting me for the lack of romance, attraction if I let him outsource that part of the relationship. He makes good money and said he'd get a college student and it would never mean anything to him. That he'd compensate her and she would just be a romance toy. I used to contribute a lot through my job as a programmer, but now I'm not working. I was afraid that if we divorced, I wouldn't be able to afford my cancer treatments, so I told him we could talk about another girl, but cried myself to sleep. My twin daughters, 22, are in college and my son, 21, wants to go to school after taking a few gap years. He's currently living at home. I thought that my job as a mother and wife was to toughen it up for the sake of the marriage and family, so I sucked it up and let him go find someone. This week, he told me he found a 21-year-old and it became real. I've been crying myself to sleep and feel even worse physically. I ended up reading texts from him to her, and he was saying to her that she should bring her resume and schoolwork to the hotel and he'd help her with her econ homework. At that moment, I nearly threw up because I realized that she was younger than all my kids, and that means that my 43-year-old husband could have changed her diapers. And now he's acting like a parental figure to a girl he wants to have romance with. I could never imagine sleeping with someone my kids' age because I'd see my kids in them. I confronted him and he said just because he saw a kid in her, that romance isn't connected to that perception. He got mad and said I wasn't giving him romance, and how was he supposed to stay in a marriage like that? He knows I'd sleep with him if I could. I tried to get him to end it, and I know he knows that I'm indicating he should stop, but he pretends that he still has my blessing. I'm so weak from just being alive day to day. I'm sad, fat, and stinky, and don't know if I can drag myself to a courtroom ever. My husband resents even buying me lunch, yet enjoyed a $300 dinner with the 21-year-old and bought her stuff from Louis Vuitton. Have any of you dealt with this kind of situation? I'm finding it hard to keep it from my son, since he catch his dad looking up Hermes perfume on Sephora, and he knows that I don't wear perfume right now. I tried to play by life's rules. I married after getting a good job, stuck by my husband during his issues, hadn't raised his kids, and tried to keep myself attractive for him. But the second something out of my control happens, I lose him. I lose him to someone he helps with homework of all things.
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
Your husband is a disgusting, selfish pig. I am so sorry you are going through this, and I hope you know that you deserve so much better. You should tell everyone what he is doing. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Tell his family, friends, your friends, post on Facebook, whatever you are comfortable doing, but stop covering for him. He is acting absolutely disgusting and does not deserve for you to protect him. If he is that nasty and mean, ask him to move out. File for divorce and request all of the financial support you are owed. Get a lawyer who will fight for you. Stop caring what he wants and fight for a good life for yourself. You're worth it. There is zero reason to stay with this man while he is so heartless. Please head over to survivinginfidelity.com and post there. You will get a lot of support and advice. There are some posters there who have been through something similar. I'm so sorry for all that you are going through. 26F, broke up with guy, 28M, who didn't act like he cared. Months later of no contact, I start dating again. Reaction from ex and his family is very unexpected. What's going on? I met the ex, we'll call him Larry, about 9 years ago. We would connect/reconnect over the years via different circles of friends. I always really liked him, but he never made a move, so nothing happened between us. Fast forward a few years later, we re-establish our friendship pretty consistently for about a year, and I decide I am not letting this guy go again. So I pursue him, initiate conversations, hangouts, etc. Once it was confirmed that he was interested in me, even though he was doing nothing about it, after months of waiting, I got impatient and initiated the let's be in a relationship talk. So we date, and the whole time I'm head over heels for this guy. Finally, all those years of on and off meeting him, rejecting other potential dates, wishing for something to happen between us is paying off. Unfortunately, my extreme infatuation made me blind to multiple red flags/warnings from people, that after 8 months, I finally started noticing things like how it took him 4 months, and multiple prompts from me, to finally kiss me. Over the course of 10 months, I can count on 2 hands the number of times we kissed. He was never emotionally or physically affectionate. The most I got was an occasional "hey beautiful" text, or a hello/goodbye hug. He lived a few hours away, so we maybe saw each other once every 6 weeks or so. He'd always have reasons as to why he couldn't hang out, too much schoolwork/work/whatever project one of his friends would talk him into, because he'd never say no. When we did hang out, he almost seemed eager to leave, taking off right after lunch because he had tons of homework to do. Romantic gestures were non-existent. In 10 months we talked twice on the phone, and we maybe exchanged 6 to 7 text messages a week, with him often taking 1+ days to reply to anything I sent him. Seriously, texting was our only form of communication, and there were multiple times I wouldn't hear from him for 4+ days. There were also several things he said to me, things like "I'm just not an affectionate person, that's who I am, you'll have to be the sugar mama because I have too much debt, I'm going to have to continue living with my mom/family because I definitely don't make enough to live on my own, yeah, you definitely do all the work/pursuing in our relationship, and I'm not considering marriage for at least another 5 years, but I hope you'll stick around until then." This kept building up, and it was starting to affect me, so I confronted him with my worries/concerns. He got defensive/angry and said, "I don't know what your problem is, because I am completely secure with our relationship." He made me feel like I was being completely unreasonable, so I stayed quiet for a few more weeks, until I couldn't take it anymore. I sent a long email to him, explicitly and in list format, explaining to him exactly what was bothering me about us, as well as why it bothered me and why him just brushing it off didn't help, and if he wasn't willing to work on us, maybe we needed to go our separate ways. I ended the email begging him to let me know when he read it, and to reply as soon as he could. He didn't respond for 3 days. I finally texted him about it, and he said, "I didn't reply because I've been super busy with work, but obviously you're not happy with this relationship, even though I have no problems with it." And that was the last I heard from him for over 2 months. Eventually he tried to reconnect with me because he'd grown quite fond of me, but I set down a very serious set of conditions for him before I could even consider a relationship again, which were basically the same condition I'd said in my email. He said he'd work on these. His efforts were very weak. The most we communicated was 12 texts in 1 day. Again, no phone calls, emails, or even social media interaction, so I finally sent him a "look, this isn't working for me, I'm going to date other guys and move on," to which all he ever replied was "seriously?" So I moved on with my life, hit the gym, made new friends, went on a few dates here and there. About 4 months after this whole thing, I start dating a guy that I'd been friends with. Unfortunately, due to a marriage connection in the family, the new BF was distantly connected to Larry, but again, considering the obvious lack of interest from the ex and after talking about it with multiple friends and family, we both decided it was a low-risk scenario for any drama. Well, word gets out that we're starting to date. It's been maybe 1-2 weeks. The ex finds out, and everything goes straight to crazy town. Ex sends me a text dating him behind my back. It would have been better if you cheated on me with a bunch of dirty old men. You are a scourge to me and my family. Next came stuff from his entire family, statements like you have been so terrible to him, and I can't believe you would do this to him, especially since he just bought a very expensive item for you. Before all this, I'd had pretty high opinions of his family. They'd gone through some rough events, affairs, divorce, but all in all, I thought were good people. Not after this. His entire family, siblings, and even cousins get involved. Almost all of them block me, but the ones that don't send me mean messages, things like I can't believe you cheated on him. You're just like his father, you were his one chance at happiness. I doubt he'll ever be the same after this and you have ruined him. Mind you, Larry never contacts me again, it's just the rest of his family that's coming after me. It gets even more weird. I never reply to any of their stuff, so his family then starts going after the new BF. And his family. They send his parents, who he lived across the country from for 6 years, things like how could you encourage this? You are terrible people. You have helped ruin Larry's life, he will never recover from this. I mean, people in Larry's family that weren't even around during our relationship are coming out of the wall, posting mean Facebook/Instagram posts that are vague yet clearly about this scenario. What gets me the most is how despite my clear, distinct texts and emails that show we've been broken up / have had nearly zero contact for over 4 months by this point, everybody in his family was convinced we were still together. I even sent them proof of the breakup, and they just brushed it off with well maybe, but it was implied you two were still. We just can't believe you would be as terrible to him as you've been. Months come and go, and you'd think the drama would fizzle away. Not so. Larry's younger sibling sent about 6 mean messages to the BF's mother, saying how dare they not break us up, and how I'm just like her father etc. I'm finally like okay, this has been ridiculous, but now it's unbelievable. So I pen a novel-length letter to Larry's entire family, not only showing all the text/Facebook posts supporting that we are no longer together and that I never cheated on him, but also asking them if you really think we were together, then in what universe would it ever be okay to ignore your girlfriend for 4 months? I called them all out saying all this attacking other people and comparing me to your absent father is going to stop. You got an issue. You come to me, and you come to me with proof of whatever accusations you plan on making. I never heard back from any of them. Most of his family has blocked me, the BF, and his family, to which I think is great, and it makes all our lives easier. However, recently, somebody within a social circle saw him/his family, and said that they are all still super upset and talking about the whole situation, saying how he's ruined and he's never going to be the same. I am just flat out confused. I mean, nothing in our relationship showed that he cared half as much as his entire family is acting like he did/does. My strategy has just to ignore them, but they keep restarting this drama. What else can/should I do? Too long didn't read, X gave every indication he wasn't interested in the relationship. Months later, I start dating somebody else, suddenly he and his family are convinced I've destroyed him, and begin verbally bothering me, the new BF, and his family. What? This is just conjecture, but it sounds like he might have oversold the relationship to his family. Perhaps he made it out to be more than it was to get his mom off his back or something. You know how parents can get about adult children who are single. He doesn't seem like the most communicative or demonstrative guy, so I bet they had zero idea that you broke up. He doesn't seem like the guy who would be open with his feelings with his family or anything. I bet you that they 100% thought you were cheating on him. But the good news is, this is all pretty irrelevant. Your ex and his family are no longer involved in your life. Pretty much the dictionary definition of a breakup. So don't miss any sleep. These witches sound crazy. Exes always suddenly care when you start seeing someone else. It's a control thing. Keep away from him and just ignore.